And it's Saturday night, and we are Microphones of Madness. We're playing the second session of the Trail of Tsathoggua. So last time, our investigators were part of an expedition to look at this part of a wall that was being pushed along by a glacier. And they were able to get a lot of hieroglyph information from it before it tumbled into the fjord. They're now headed toward the capital city of Gotthab. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. In Greenland, to outfit an expedition into the interior, because part of the translation of the hieroglyphics has told them of an ancient city on the interior of Greenland. So, with that in mind, let us start by introducing everyone's characters. We'll go from my my left in. So, Brian, we will start with you.
Okay, I am playing Ethan Vining. He is a 27-year-old photojournalist.
Okay, and then Matt. You're on mute, Matt.
Yeah, I know. I was clearing my throat.
Okay.
We want to hear your throat clearing from now on.
Yeah. No, you don't. I'm playing Dr. Frank Osborne, geologist. That's it.
All right, Lily.
I am Lucille Jackson. Lucy Jackson. I'm a writer. I'm here on assignment.
Nick.
My name is Charles Wigglesworth. I am an antiquarian who has a focus on ancient Mediterranean pottery.
And last but not least, Wesley James Young.
Yes, indeed. Tonight I am Dr. Donald Blythe. I am a medical doctor with a misanthropic disposition and mountaineering skills.
Okay. Now, when we last left, the bit of a wall that you guys were studying tumbled into the fjord. Fortunately, none of you were hurt. I guess fortunately, none of you were hurt. Rats. And it was decided by your expedition leaders, and that would be Professors Matheson and Henry Ethelrod, the British jerk, have decided to sail to the capital to see about going to the interior, because part of what you had discovered was evidence that there's a city somewhere on the icy interior of Greenland. It's going to take a few days to get there, to sail around the coast. There's a little map here. I'll put me up that way. Oops. Yeah, that way you can see me. All right.
A very fine map of Norway.
Yeah, but it's Greenland.
I'm going to continue that joke. I'm going to continue that joke.
All right, so you're here where it says the wall and the ice. And you have to sail around to where it says Gottlieb. Ignore that.
I was going to say, ignore that. Ignore that little dot right there.
Good thing I was looking away. Thank you, college football? Question mark?
Is that a spleen? What is that?
It's a kidney.
There we go.
So it's going to take you 5 days to get there. You do have a number of translations to do. You guys were copying parts of the wall, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them of what you had done actually look like they can give you pertinent information for the expedition. So, how many of you have? Sorry. Language skills. That's what we want. People with language, anthropology, or natural history skills. Now step up to do that, and I mean like actual points put into the skills, not default. You have to be.
I somehow doubt French is going to help me.
I have Danish and German.
Yeah, I have German and I have natural world.
Okay, natural world's going to help. Who has archaeology or anthropology? Those are the big ones. Nobody?
I thought
I have
somebody had it.
archaeology.
Okay.
What skill?
Anthropology, archaeology, natural world. Those are actually the skills that we're looking for.
I've got a slight higher than average anthropology too.
Okay. But you put
I got
points.
lots of archaeology.
Okay, that's fine. So Matt, you can actually work on translating some of these writings on the voyage. Nick, you said you had archaeology
I do not.
or anthropology.
I do not.
What do you study? What does your character study?
I have art, craft, pottery, and appraise, and history, and Greek language, and Egyptian hieroglyphs, and stuff you're not asking for.
Okay, no, for some reason I thought you had archaeology or anthropology.
That
okay,
would have been cheating to tell me beforehand.
Okay, so looks like Matt, you are going to on the way. You can work on one a day, and then Professor Matheson can work on one a day, and hold on, and Ethelrod can also work on one a day. And I'll tell you what. Throw in Buell and Granger. We'll get luck rolls for Granger because he's a sot. And we can get like 4 or 5 translated a day, and you have 2, 4, 6, 7. So yeah, you should be able to get them all translated. So let's do that first, and then if you want to do any business on the trip, that's fine as well. So Matt. You can just roll for all of them if you want. Roll a d10.
Great. Those are d4s. That's a fortune cookie. Okay.
Fortune cookie? Wait, what?
Just weird stuff in my dice tray. 5.
Okay.
Jealous
So,
of the fortune cookie, honestly.
So the first one tells about an ancient temple, square in shape and of pre-human origin, that stands near the peak of a mountain that borders Comorium, which, if you recall, is the name of the lost city.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have Cthulhu Mythos at all?
I do now because of that book of Ibon weirdness.
Oh, that's right. So make a Mythos roll.
I think I got, 3 points of Cthulhu
Yeah,
Mythos?
it's not a lot, but hey, it's better than 0, right?
I would have rather if it maintained a 0.
Just roll low and then spend some luck.
67.
Spend that luck.
You can spend luck, or you can, if you push the roll, you can't really push.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Spend all your luck.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I
now
don't even have that much luck.
roll another d10. We'll do this one for Buell.
2.
2. This one actually has a description of the city of Comorium, describing in detail the many parks and gardens found within the city. Do you have biology by any chance?
I don't think so.
Oh, you know what? It's not you that would have biology.
Oh.
It would be Buell. Sorry. Does Buell have biology? He does. Would you care to roll for him?
I don't care.
You can roll for him. Or someone can. I don't have to roll for him.
6.
Oh. Yeah, Buell actually, in reading this, he comes away scratching his head. You guys are kind of hunkered down in the library, quote unquote, doing this. And he starts talking about how a lot of these plants don't exist anymore. They could really only have existed way back a long time ago. They're prehistoric cycads and palms. Judging by the description.
Cool.
Next, we'll make a luck roll and see if, well, it'll be you three working on it. The other two have bigger fish to fry. Granger, who has a power of 7. So, yeah, the first day he's way too wasted to even think about it. He actually asks if you can cover for him. All right. So that's day 1 of translation. On the first day, does anybody want to get anything done?
I just want to focus on healing up. I still have a few health points lost from my fall into the water from last time. So
Sure.
just trying to take it easy.
Sure. Everyone who's lost any hit points can gain their hit point for spending the day relaxing, if that's what you're doing. Translating papers is it's not taxing work, so you can still, you don't have to. You're not running around doing it. So you can also, everyone can gain a hit point unless they're doing something else.
I was back at max because of Wes's healing, but I don't know what kind of physical shape Lucy's in after being pneumonia bedbound.
Dumped with pneumonia.
Yeah.
Here's what you do. You just take this sack and just swing it around a bit, and that'll get the blood flowing.
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're a doctor? Look, I've heard some weird remedies. I'm from Mississippi. It's about as weird as it gets. And I've never heard of that one. I think
Have you seen his,
back to Maroon.
Have you seen his golf swing? He's not much of a doctor.
No, I'm not.
Look, that's what she says. Look, you're a quack. I'm going back to bed. Bye.
I'm not a quack. I'm the best doctor in this entire
blah
ship.
blah blah. You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
Lawyers. Who needs them? I'm a licensed practitioner. Doctor guy is what they call it.
All right. Well, day 2. Matt, you can roll. You can roll to see if what you're translating on the second day is interesting or not.
I can?
You can.
Oh, boy. 43.
Well, boy, howdy.
I just need a D10, man.
Oh, just a D10. Oh. Oh, well, I rolled 3 again.
Well, golly willikers.
Gee whiz.
Okay. Well, this reveals that that the city of Comorium was actually built. It looks like on top of the ruins of an even older civilization.
Weird.
Cha-ching. All right. Someone want to roll for Buell?
Buell. I'll roll. I ain't doing nothing. That is an 11.
All right. That's odd because you're rolling a D10.
Oh, a D10. Well, that's a 1. I thought you said percentage. My bad. That's a 1.
Yeah, this one really just reiterates that that the city is called Comorium and is built by people who migrated south from a place called Muthulan. Does Buell have any mythos skills? He does. I mean, yeah, he's a little shaken. When he like kind of is translating this and kind of looks up and just says, "You got to be kidding me." Muthalan, Comorium, that's like out of legend. That's out of Hyperborea. I didn't think that existed. And he's actually he goes a little white. It's Hyperborea, not Hyborea. Sorry. That's hilarious. Actually, there was a Hyperborea in Hyboria as well. It was, according to the comic book map, it was to the east of Asgard.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It was so long ago. And then we'll make a luck roll for man, he sucks. he stumbles in, scratching himself. Oh man. And he takes one look at the translation, his eyes cross, and he just goes, oh, I'm going back to bed.
It sounds like me.
All right, so it's day 2. Everyone can take a point as long as they've been resting up.
Can I use psychoanalysis on anyone since they're resting?
For what?
You know, to help soothe away any sand loss I might have had, or did not.
I don't know if anybody's had any sand loss. Has anybody had any sand loss?
I've had sand gain.
Ah,
I
I
lost
haven't
2
had
sanity
sand
somewhere. I'm trying to remember where I lost it. I'm not sure.
Oh, it might have been because of the quake and being on the wall.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Yeah,
I
you
lost
can,
sanity from multiple sources.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
you
that
can.
might have been it.
You can, but if you wanted to psychoanalyze Matt, you'd lose a day of translating.
Maybe he could psychoanalyze me because I'm not translating. I'm just sort of sitting around.
Right. Yeah, you can do one a day. So yeah.
I'll be your guinea pig.
all right,
What would you like to tell me about your father?
all right. Now, just sit back and
And before we do this, Brian, I'm so sorry.
Mm.
yeah,
I'm not. Everybody has experience.
I signed his waiver, but as I get on his couch, you know.
Just remember, just start talking about whatever's got you all hipped up and whatnot, and we'll make that go away there. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Hipped up.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, let's start yapping about jawbone
I
about the
heard
problem.
dice rolling. Wes, did you fail already?
Actually, no. I rolled a 50 out of 60. Yeah. This is the treatment though. Yeah. Don't worry. Just lighten up here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sometimes I wake up at night. I remember I wake up in a cold sweat because I still think I'm in the war with my unit. And I remember we were going through past enemy lines, and we were taking heavy sniper fire. And sometimes I wake up thinking I'm still there.
Yeah.
As if all the forces are pressing down on me. They're gonna get us.
I know that can be, but remember, you got away. You got away alive.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah. That's because you're meant to be alive and they weren't.
Yeah.
Sometimes I lost a patient or two, but I kept going.
That's great.
Yep. Good talk.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I want to smoke anymore. Thanks.
This is fantastic.
You were meant to be alive and they weren't.
Great. Thanks, Doc.
Yep.
Why did I think of that?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you can gain 1d3 sanity points.
All right.
So I rolled
That was glorious.
He rolled a D3.
Now, what I want to know is if that was his good pep talk. I want to know what was his bad pep talk.
Wes, do you want to roll that for me since you made the successful?
I'll roll that. Yep. Make your problems go away.
That's right. Get all his good rolls out of him.
Got one.
All right. Feeling a little bit better.
Think
Nice,
you're alive.
Now, here's the thing. we're gonna play with the rules a little bit because it's not a campaign. Technically, it's a once per month roll for the sanity, and you're supposed to be going regularly. You know, it's therapy.
Yeah.
So, but we'll play with that just because it's a one shot.
Yep.
So
In my heart, it's a campaign.
just so people know. All right.
All that matters.
So day 3, Matt, you can elect to go to therapy, or you can elect
With Wes?
or you can elect to translate.
Yeah. Go on.
I'm gonna tough it out.
I got medical.
Some booze.
All right. Well, then give me a D10 roll.
Okay.
Yeah, we just appreciate how quickly he's like, nah, I'm just gonna suck it up.
I'm good.
I'm just gonna suck this up. I'm good.
Do you want a prescription for some bourbon? I can write you one of those.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Again, he gives everybody but the person that would have benefited from the bourbon.
Bourbon, yeah. Booze.
You just get hot water and lemon. That's it. That'll cure your
Only because they
pneumonia.
didn't have OxyContin back then.
Fine.
I rolled a 7.
Okay. According to this, there's a hideous, formless guardian that hides in the temple on the mountain. Ooh, scary stuff. And that's all it says. It doesn't really go into a lot of detail, except that there is in the temple that was mentioned, there is a guardian, and it is indescribable. And unlike some of the source material for this game, they just leave it at that. They say it's indescribable, and they don't describe it.
That makes life easy.
Would someone like to roll for Buell? D10.
Buell. I was rolling for Buell. I continue. Buell. That's 8.
Okay. Wow, Buell's the lucky one here. So Buell. What is his intelligence? 5. Okay. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, yeah, it does. All right, hold on. I got to do math.
Numbers.
Okay.
Numbers.
Yeah, so he looks a little shaken. I mean, this guy's just getting it. He turns pasty white, and he's starts reading the glyphs and reading the glyphs and reading the glyphs and just saying, I think, yeah, they worshipped some being called Tsathoggua, and this is how you talk to the guy. They thought they could talk to their god, and he just kind of pushes it away and leaves. At which point, Granger, who actually made it into work that day, takes a look at it and starts to read it out loud.
Oh no.
Are we all in the room when this is happening, or are we in different points of the ship? Or
you guys are at different points of the ship, but Matt is in the room. If you wanted to do anything, you're muted, Matt.
I'm gonna look over at him and say, "Is there a need to do that right now?"
Well, I mean, he was just—it's a god, right?
Yeah, but why are you reading that stuff out loud? You don't even know what it sounded. That language sounded like. You sound like a fool.
You sound like a fool.
Hey, give me
What pity?
give me a roll, man.
I'm trying to research over here. You're making you sound like a duck.
I think this is going down. You sound like a fool.
What do you got? You got intimidate or persuade or something? Something like that?
Just at base.
Do you have any of the social skills?
No, that's why I just said what I did.
Oh, okay. All right.
I can try intimidate. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, try and intimidate. We'll see how this guy reacts because let's see.
12. I made it.
Okay, yeah, and he's like, oh, yeah, I probably should show this to the professor. I always do shit like this, man. I don't know why wanted to be an archaeologist. I should have just stuck playing football. I was really good at that.
You really should pursue that dream when we get home.
Yeah. You ever play football?
No.
Oh man, it's fun. Everyone wears fur coats, and they have those little flags. Rah rah! And then you catch a ball. I mean, everyone can catch a ball, right?
You should go have a lay down.
I might just do that.
Seem a little jittery.
Yeah. Well, go Miskatonic. Woo!
Okay, give me those notes. Don't take them with you.
Oh yeah, sure. You're gonna show them to don't show him to Ethelrod. He's a douche.
Yeah, I'll make sure he doesn't see them.
Okay.
You got it, big guy.
All right. Thanks.
What are the
All right,
notes
so-
he's looking at that drove him so weird?
Yeah. So it is literally give me a straight up intelligence roll.
Joy of choice. Actually, it's my strong suit. Yeah. 68. Hit it easily.
Yeah. So it is literally a way to contact this god called Tsathoggua.
Okay.
I wonder what.
Is it done up like that other thing I looked at that was talking about contacting off-care?
It's very similar, but the tones are very different.
I'm going to go ahead and just shelve that with my Book of Ibon stuff and not keep it away from Ethelrod.
Okay.
I'm not going to
That's
study it too deeply right now.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So while all this is going on, the French decide that they're going to play a little prank. So Matt, you're out of this because you are 1, 2.
This sounds like a good time.
Yeah, what's going on? Oh, there you go.
All right. So yeah. So Lily.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I said Matt was out of here. Wasn't part of this. So actually,
I'm just
Wigglesworth.
watching. I'm not actually going to get involved.
Yeah. So Wigglesworth. You're going. You were staying with some of the sailors, right? And then Matt, right? And the doctor. That's how that panned out.
I don't remember who's staying with who.
No, Nick, you were with
He was with the crew dude.
Ethelrod and
Yeah.
and right, because kindred spirits, right? Oh
Yeah, except he made that Americans remark, and now I've been on it. Been cautious about him ever since. Or not cautious, but
Right.
biding my time to get my revenge for that
Bide your
comment.
time.
To get my revenge for that comment.
Right. Well,
Let's see.
you have like a little cot in their in their room. And you go down below deck to take 5, and you open up the door and give me a listen roll.
Ooh, I got an 11.
Oh, yeah. There's a strong smell of fish in the room.
I walk out of the room. I don't
Okay.
even want to fuck with that. Ugh. I tell somebody, I go back and I try to find like the cook or something. I said, I think there's something rotting back there. Is that the food storage?
Yeah. So you find Louis, the steward, many other functions.
I tell him, I think there's something rotting back there.
What? What, in your room? And we don't keep anything back there.
Could you go check for me?
Yeah, why don't you show me where it is? Let's go.
Okay. I don't go in the room. I point to it from the hallway, or I try to like say like, yeah, there's something in here. And then like I breathe in deeply. Just can't smell that.
Yeah, he walks in. He's like, well, I'm usually a little nose blind about these things, just because I work around food all day. But yeah, it definitely smells a little bit like fish. I don't know why. And then, because is that your bed? And he points over to one of the cots.
Is it my bed? Does that happen to be my cot?
It happens not to be your cot. It is actually Ethelrod's cot.
Okay.
He points over to the cot, and you actually see there's and it's hard to tell because the blankets are those scratchy, dark olive blankets that you get. You know what I'm talking about? Like your standard issue shit blanket. That's what's on the cot. But it seems like that particular blanket is a little darker than the other two.
I slowly pick up the blanket, or I like try to lift up a flap or something.
Okay.
Just to look
so
under
it looks like somebody decided to do an anatomy study of some sort of fish inside the bed. So it's flayed open and pinned to the fucking mattress. And parts of it are labeled. It's all in French though. Do you speak French?
No.
So
I can at least recognize it as such, though.
Yeah, and Louis does speak French.
I do.
You're Lily, not Louis. Louis is the steward.
Oh,
Or
Lily.
she's Lucy, actually. She is Lily.
I'm
but
so
she
used
also
to
is
you
Lily.
calling me Lily by accident when I'm playing.
So what does this say?
So yeah, so all the parts are labeled.
Wow.
Large.
Let's just leave this the way that we. Let's just leave this the way that we found it, and keep this between you and I.
Okay, if that's what you want. But I had nothing to do with this.
Oh, neither have I. It's obvious that neither of us had anything to do with it. It's already labeled in French. So yeah, but I will see you later. And I hand him, I don't know, like $1 bill for him to be quiet.
He looks at you and says, Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And he doesn't not take it.
Of course not. That's a lot of money back then. Well, I mean, I legitimately don't know anything about this, so sure.
Later on, as you all are enjoying the post meal, Ethelrod and Professor Matheson get up early to turn in. Matheson's an old guy. Get up to turn in early and get a jump on everything. And you just hear clear as day through the whole ship, "You motherfucking frogs!"
I look at the two Frenchmen. I mean, the Frenchman, and I ask them in French, "What did you do?"
Us? Certainly we did nothing.
What did you not do then?
Oh, well, we definitely did not vivisect a fish and put it in the uppity Englishman's bed. That would be gauche.
Lucy's face visibly, like, you see her eyes get bigger, and then she starts to smile, and she quickly covers her mouth to keep from laughing out loud. And she tells them, I'm going to have to use this in a book now.
Oh, yes, certainly. My name is not spelled Luvois. Not at all. Okay, so day 4. Matthew, if you would like, well, you can give me a D10.
Mm-hmm. 10.
Do you win the Cupid doll? This inscription says that if one wishes to visit the ancient temple on the mountain, they will be required to speak with the servant within.
Weird.
Okay. Someone want to roll for Buell?
Sure. It's kind of my thing now. That is a 10.
Re-roll that, please.
Okay. 2.
Re-roll that one.
Oh my.
No repeats.
3.
Re-roll that. I want no 1s, 2s, 3s, no 8s, no 10s.
6.
Okay. Yeah, this transcription tells of a 6-legged horror, sometimes seen in the vicinity of a prehistoric building on a nearby mountain. Do you have Cthulhu Mythos?
Do I have Cthulhu Mythos?
Yes.
Lucy? No.
Oh, yeah, that's you. Jesus, I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's about that. Okay. So yeah, so there's a warning of a 6-legged horror that is seen in the vicinity of some of the prehistoric buildings on the mountain. And Granger is just out. I'm assuming everyone's healed up by now.
Yeah, am I well enough to be walking around regularly?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Lucy's probably been like lurking in and out of like the translation rooms just because she's probably just doesn't have anything else to do.
No, they don't want you there.
Oh, they don't want me there? Okay.
They're working. They don't want the distraction.
Okay. Well, then I'm just watching the Frenchman harass this guy.
Yeah, that was probably the most egregious thing they've done to him.
Impressive. It was very impressive.
For the rest of the I mean, there's only one more day of the trip. He's definitely in a snit and not talking to anyone. And we'll do the last day, Matt. Give me one final roll.
Okay. Ten again.
Nope.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's a repeat. Okay.
Well, it keeps repeating itself here. That must be really important with the servant.
It's like it was a wall, like a wallpaper. So you finally make it into the town of Gotthab, and you could call it a town, I guess. As you're starting to dock, you see a lot of low huts made of stone and turf. There are a few buildings that are made of wood, but from what you've seen of Greenland, there doesn't seem to be a lot of trees. So probably explains the scarcity of permanent structure. Every once in a while, when the wind changes direction, you get a whiff of the blubber rendering establishment that is fortunately downwind most of the time. So you kind of get a just a nose full of boiling blubber. Along the coast, you see a lot of Inuit that are, doing day-to-day activities, preparing skins, repairing fishing boats. It's a town, so there are streets, but it's it's mainly made of mud. The streets are mainly mud. Occasionally, you see someone who's a little bit taller than the Inuit population. You can make the assumption that it is someone of Scandinavian descent, as they are taller, whiter, and blonder than the Inuit that are there. As soon as the boat as soon as the you anchor and the boats go in, and as soon as the boats make the shore, Matheson and Ethelrod say they're going to go to the government inspector's building to introduce themselves and to basically, getting good with the local magistrate. Anyone who wants to come along is more than welcome to. If not, we'll be here for a few days, so you can do whatever you feel you need to do. We'll be providing all the necessary. Well, the university will be providing all the necessary equipment for the trek inward. So you don't really have to worry about that.
I'll just take a couple of establishing pictures of the town.
Sure.
To document our expedition.
Sure. Arrival in Gotthab.
I'm gonna hit up the local bookshop and get myself some books to flip through.
Yeah, there's no local bookshop. This is Greenland in the 1920s. So just to give you kind of an idea of what we have in play here, you have the government office, which is the second largest building in town. There's a general store. There is a newspaper office, and that's in quotes. There is a one-room schoolhouse and a seminary. Everything else is residential. So yeah, there's no Barnes and Nobles there, dude.
All right, grab myself a couple copies of the local paper then.
Okay, so you go. Is anybody accompanying him to the newspaper office?
You know what? Just because she's been on the ship this long, Lucy probably would.
Okay. You get to the newspaper office. And all the papers on display are actually written in the language of the Inuit. There's one guy there. It's an Inuit man who runs the whole show.
Danish, we're going to kind of brush off my Danish and go, hey, hello there, I'm Dr. Blythe.
He looks at you and shakes his head, and his eyes get wide, and he starts to look like he's a little panicky.
What did you say to him?
I said hello.
He says in very, very broken Danish, no speak Danish. Don't speak Danish.
Yeah. He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't speak Danish. So, I asked him if he speaks German.
No.
Do you speak English?
He's just looking at you now.
I believe we should relocate then.
Yeah,
Yeah. I doubt he speaks French.
Yeah, that's either. Oh, they're the shot.
All right. Yeah. While these guys are doing that, is anybody else doing anything else? We have establishing shots being taken, and these guys have gone to the newspaper offices.
I'm putting together a report for the translations from Matheson, omitting weirdnesses like the contact ritual and anything else I feel is a little sanity jarring.
All right. Just so you know, if you remember correctly, that he actually talked to you about. He actually believes in Hyperborea.
Yeah, I know. But I don't want him to go too far afield. I have the feeling this might, after watching What's His Face in action, that learning too much about this too fast might be kind of damaging for some people.
Okay, fair enough.
I know it kind of shook me up a little. So
right. Hey, it drove poor Granger to drink.
Yeah, I'm using myself as a metric. Then if I can't handle it, then maybe it's too much for other people.
Okay.
Frank's a little egotistical like that.
Could I go to the library?
Yeah. Once again, no library. There's a government office, a general store, the newspaper office. There's a school and a seminary.
There's no library at the school, man.
I'm in Greenland, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little threat.
You know you're in a frozen wasteland, right?
Frozen wasteland.
When these guys were translating the rubbings, did that make? Are we all aware of the translations, or were they sort of huddled in a room?
They were definitely huddled in a room. It's all up to Matt. How he wants to, if he wants to disseminate the information to you guys. He's definitely sharing some of the information with Matheson.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it to Matheson to disseminate what he wants to disseminate since he's the boss of the whole operation. That's not really my place.
So there you go.
Really enjoying the view of the frozen wasteland.
Yep, it's nice. So clean.
So
Quiet.
nice to not be on that darn ship.
I know.
Starting to go stir crazy.
Yeah.
So unless Nick, did you want to do something?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So Lily, while you are, who's a better intelligence out of the two of you, Lucy or?
Mine's 80.
Mine's 85.
All right, so Wes, you can make the idea roll.
All right. Let's use my. Yep, that's a 37. I make that.
Yeah, so you seem to recall that a member of your expedition actually cut his teeth doing field work among the Inuit in Canada.
Oh yeah. Let's go talk. Why don't we go bring back that guy who talked to those Canadians? What was that? That was not Buell. Was that Harry Alexander?
No, that was Buell.
Oh, God, Buell.
Buell, the one that I fucked up with the rolls.
Buell. Let's go find him. I think I hear you might speak Inuit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something to do.
Yeah, so you pull Buell away from what he was doing and return to the newspaper office, where he says, "Yeah, okay, I can translate for you. What do you want to know?"
What's the current news going on here in these parts?
There's been an overabundance of skins caught this season, so we should be able to sell them really well in Europe. They fetch a good price there, but we don't want to overflow the market.
Mm.
Good strategy.
Yeah. Anything out of the ordinary beyond that? You know, anybody been seen looking around who looked a little weird?
I mean, besides you?
Oh
exactly. Yeah. What are you asking?
Lily, help him out.
Yeah, those guys who kind of tried to bushwhack us that one time.
Right. So,
all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just go. You're on your computer.
Yes.
Google Greenland.
Yes.
Okay, and look at the east coast of Greenland, and then look at the west coast of Greenland, and imagine that there is a glacier between those two. Okay, so and imagine that communications in the frozen wasteland of Greenland are not 21st century America.
I mean, it'd be pretty hard to get
when this guy tells you something weird besides you.
Like, we're the weird thing here. We're. I think what he's trying to ask is there any unusual stories for here before we arrived?
No.
That'd be a good question. Yes. Let's go with that. Let's assume I said that.
You know, not associating the white folk that just rolled into town.
No. Nothing really ever happens here.
So nothing out of the ordinary, just the skin story, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder what the tannery process is like. I never really understood that.
Oh, you'd have to go ask one of the tanners.
Nice.
I don't do that.
Just a passing. It's just a passing thought. We appreciate your help, though.
Well, thank you.
She gives him that
winning
smile.
You're more than welcome to look through the old papers if you are looking for anything of interest. That you definitely. I mean, they are newspapers. They contain information. They'd probably be more informative than I can because they don't forget.
Well, yeah, I'd like to do that. Look through the old papers and see if there's anything interesting.
As would I.
Okay, so they're all written in Eskimo or in Inuit. So you're going to actually have to have Buell do that.
Yep.
Yo.
Yo.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Are we sick? So, are we?
So we're rolling
what-
his library use.
No, you're gonna try and convince Buell.
Oh, we're gonna try to get some. So I'm gonna try to
Why-
charm him into doing it.
Yeah.
Why
Oh,
would
you've
Buell
been
want to waste his day looking through old newspapers? What would intrigue him about looking through old newspapers of like this?
You know,
no horse.
considering how suddenly they found that that structure out there, maybe there was something else before then. You know, something that's related that they didn't think was related. Also, it'd give you a break from looking at those hieroglyphs as hard as you've been looking at them. You seem like you're a little pale. So I'm rolling to charm him into doing it.
Hold on 1 second. So hold on. Okay. Let me do a quick math. Okay. I need to know how well you do the roll.
Okay. I make it regular.
I don't know. I just don't really want to go through all these papers on some. I mean, what are you even looking for?
Well, I mean, what if there was something else that was out of place? Maybe somebody saw some other structure somewhere else, or maybe there were signs that something else was moving around out there that they don't know what it was.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, but I think if there was something huge like that, this guy would know about it. It wouldn't be like buried. That'd be like actual news. It kind of sounds like there's just nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong. These people live their lives and they do what they do, but I think what would be interesting to them might not necessarily be interesting to you, and vice versa.
Well, I'm not gonna push him on it because I don't want him to get mad and not want to help us with something else if we need help with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Lucy's like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna push you. I just thought maybe we could find something of use.
Yeah, I just don't know what we would use. I mean, it's a small, monthly newsletter.
That's fair enough. I apologize for taking you from your work.
No, that's okay. Not many people speak Inuit, so, or not many. Well, these guys do, obviously, but not many of us speak Inuit, so it's part of why I'm here.
Well, I thank you for your time. Yeah, she's not gonna keep pushing him on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anybody else want to do anything? General store, seminary, school, government office.
Let's go to the government office.
All right. So, Wigglesworth, you find that the heads of your expedition are just leaving the offices of Sven Jurke, who is the Kollenspeicher. I'm not even gonna fucking pronounce that. He is the magistrate. Seriously, man, this word is fucked up. Colina Bestrier. Anyway, Sven and his assistant Nels Osterberg are just saying goodbye to Matheson. And they see you come in. They're like, oh, yes, another esteemed member of the Miskatonic expedition. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have about Greenland or the town of Gotthab or any of the Inuit.
I ask him if he knows about like any tribe that like maybe lives near the I'm sorry, near where the wall was.
Oh, well,
Asking specifically about like those ones that we saw, and if I can maybe describe them to him if we like saw them some that well.
I don't know. That could be any number of tribes. You say they tried to harm you?
Wouldn't say that. Maybe there was malicious intent. They could have just been standing up there observing us, and then the wall just shifted. Or no, that's not what happened. Didn't they try to drop ice on us?
Yeah, they tried to drop chunks of stuff on it. Or it kind of looked that way.
Yeah, what happened was there were chunks of ice that fell on you, or rocks, and they were up there and then left.
So it kind of looks circumstantially like they may have had a part to play, but we can't pin it on them.
Yeah, but there's no telling what any of the non-city dwelling people are going to do. Were you disturbing them in any way?
I don't think we were.
Generally, the Inuit, keep to themselves, especially outside of the towns. But that's so far away from here. I mean, I couldn't even tell you.
Okay.
And there's not like a huge history of violence here. We don't even have a police force.
Yeah.
And any disputes are all usually handled internally. I'm really just here for the big shit.
Okay. I don't really have any other questions.
Okay.
Well, I'm taking pictures of Gottfarb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to the seminary and see if I can just see who's there. If they've got who's at the seminary.
Sure. The seminary is actually the largest building in town. It houses the local minister, 8 students, and a clerical teacher. Next to it is a simple wooden church. The minister is in, and his name is Jorgen Hayden. He is Danish.
Okay. So, and the rest of them, are they all European, or has he got? Are the rest of them Inuit?
There's a mix. There's a mix.
Yeah. Okay. I'll introduce myself. I'll say, hey, my name is Ethan Vining. I'm with the Miskatonic expedition. Pleasure to meet you, Reverend.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to meet you as well.
Yes. So, Reverend Hayden, do you get a lot of? It seems like a very out of the way place to have a spiritual center. Is this mostly a place of contemplation, or what's the curious about the mission here?
God is everywhere. Why wouldn't he be here? I need to bring the word to the Inuit.
Yes.
We have some degree of success. We have ordained several Inuit ministers. Usually what happens is once we they go through the instruction and graduate, they're sent to Copenhagen to be ordained. And then they can go, some of them do come back here to minister to the Inuit, but from there they can go anywhere.
Well, that's very exciting.
To be honest, the church does recognize that it's much easier to minister to your own people. So a lot of them come back here, spread the word about the It's remarkable how the word of God is so infectious.
Yes, that is quite remarkable. So tell me, Reverend, have you heard word of the big glacial wall? That was what originally drew us to these lands. Was the huge piece of carving that by the fjord. Have you heard of it at all, or is this news to you?
Oh, that is news to me. There was it's Greenland, so there's definitely a lot of glaciers and fjords.
Oh, of course. Yes,
it's rather beautiful.
Oh, yes. No, it's quite breathtaking. What made this pretty amazing was that there were some ancient carvings that were revealed with the glacial activity. We just had a few days to try to take some rubbings and pictures of this massive slab before gravity pulled it into the sea. So I was just curious to know if you knew of any old Inuit legends that spoke of this wall of carving seemed very, very old. And so I didn't know if culturally, if you'd heard anything from your flock here about ancient myths, legends, things that would that they would write on walls like that. Just curious.
You can make a persuade or
Okay.
history roll, whichever one is better for you.
Yeah, probably history. Let's see. Yes, I made it. I got a 22 out of 25.
Okay. He says, well, I don't know about local legends because that's not my concern. But I will say that we do have quite the collection of books brought here by Hans Egede when he formed the first modern settlement in Greenland back in the 18th century. There's definitely a few things here, including his diary. If you're more than welcome to peruse through that, if you'd like.
Thank you. You're very kind. Yes, I will treat it with great respect and reverence. Thank you. I'll sit down. I mean, I don't want to take it out of the building. I don't think that would be appropriate, but I'll be happy to sit down and
sure peruse
that.
Okay. You have Dutch or German?
I do have German at 40.
Okay. All right. Sit back and hear a tale. So it is the diary of a Pierre de Holst, who was a Lutheran pastor who was serving aboard a Dutch whaler that had briefly set ashore on Greenland, on the coast of Greenland in the 16th century. So this is actually not, this is the journal. I don't know that it is passed down through the church, the Dutch clergy, until it finally ended up here, probably because it has to do with Greenland and the history.
Is it a handwritten thing, or has this actually been sent to a printing press?
No, it's handwritten.
Okay.
And most of it is like the day-to-day just doings of a whaling vessel.
Okay.
So if you really want that, go read Moby Dick. But at the end, there is a couple pages that are kind of interesting. Now, this is taking you a while. So this is your deed for the day.
Yep.
So I'm just going to read it. From the Journal of Pierre de Holst. It was later that day that we were set upon by a great storm that sorely tossed our ship about. The timbers groaned in such a manner as to make one think that they would come apart The captain pulled the ship about, and sure that we were lost if we did not struck for the coast of Vinland to the north. Pitched high by the waves, we soon came within sight of shore, looming cold and forbidding, great walls of ice and snow rising out of the dark sea. Making for a narrow channel between two of the great ice walls and avoiding a huge piece of floating ice, I'm certain that if we had collided with it, it would have sent us to the bottom. We anchored in a protected cove and spent the night in relative peace. The following morning, a sailor from his vantage point atop one of the masts spied a dark object in the snow on the other side of the bay in which we had chosen to rest. The captain ordered one of the longboats put over the side and, accompanied by a group of 10 sailors, made the short passage across the now quiet waters. Reaching the other side, the men leaped ashore and, after securing the small boat, made their way to where the dark object lay in the snow. From my distant position on the gently rolling ship, I could see them kneel beside the object. When they turned it over, it looked like nothing other than a small log, somehow washed ashore on this treeless place. The sailors began examining the snow around the object, and some gestured to a small pass that led out of sight between two of the smaller ice walls. They then struck out in this direction and were soon lost from view. Moments later, the whole ship was roused to its feet by a distant shouting that carried across the ice and water to where we waited. We could hear the hoarse shouts of the men, a loud cry followed by a terrible shriek, the like of which I hope to never hear again, and will spend the rest of my life trying to forget. It was the dying shriek of an animal, like that of a swine when the butcher's hand is unsteady and the first stroke of his knife has missed its mark. The shriek was the last we heard. As the echoes slowly fell into silence, we waited quietly, knowing not what to do next. At the time, it seemed much longer, but it was only moments later that the crew returned from the narrow pass, and we could see that all of the men were present. The one, obviously bloodied, was being helped to the boat by his companions. Two of the men were carrying small objects wrapped in blankets. While they boarded the longboat, two other men stopped to lift the stiff wood-like object from the snow and began to carry it also toward the waiting craft. As it was lifted clear of the ground, the light snow fell away, and it could be clearly seen to be the body of a man frozen stiff as a log. We waited anxiously as the boat pulled toward the ship. After the men boarded, I, the captain, and the two bundled objects carried by the two sailors retired to the cabin below. Here the bundles were unwrapped, and to my great surprise, I discovered two beautiful children, a boy and a girl, squirming and healthy. Bewildered, I questioned the captain, and he told me that they had been found in a nearby cave where the men had discovered them being threatened by a wild beast of an unknown type. He described this beast as covered with thick orange hair and resembling a bear or perhaps a kind of ape. The men dispatched the animal, which died with a horrible shriek, the one we had heard while we were waiting aboard the ship, but not before she, the animal was discovered to be a female, had injured the head of one of the men with a swipe of her paw. The children were then rescued, and the crew decided to leave the body of the beast where it lay. The frozen body discovered on shore turned out to be a Norseman, probably a member of the rumored Viking settlements begun here hundreds of years ago, though how humans could possibly live in this land, I don't know. We think that he was probably the father of the two children. The red hair they all shared seemed to be unmistakable means of identification. I myself examined the body, and it would appear that he died from some ravaging disease brought on by the harsh climate of this land. The absence of the children's mother seemed odd, and after committing the man's body to the sea, the captain remained anchored in the bay for 2 more days, a watch always on duty for any sign of the mother. Finally, deciding that the woman was probably an unfortunate victim of the same disease or harsh conditions that had killed her husband, we once again set sail, leaving the frozen coastline behind us. The 2 orphans are now my responsibility, and I must admit the 2 bring a joy to my heart and are the source of much pleasure for the sailors aboard ship. They're just learning to crawl, and I have taught the girl a few simple words, and she has shown herself to be a quick learner. The 2 have become so dear to my heart that I'm sure it will be difficult to part with them when the time comes. The captain has decided the voyage is concluding and we should be home in a fortnight. I've already decided upon a couple who I think will take the children and raise them as their own. They are childless, having lost their own son and daughter to a sudden plague of illness. I will miss the two, but I know I must return to the sea. As for the beast that was killed in the cave, I have no idea what it might have been, and I feel that once I return home and consult texts on the subject, I will not find them to be any more enlightening. I requested the captain to have some of the men fetch the body to the ship, but he refused. Neither would he let me or any other person set ashore for that purpose. I would not explain his reasons. I suppose that it shall remain a mystery, but I will always remember the sound of that dying scream, its piercing quality, the way the wind twisted it through the ice pass, making it sound so strange, as though it had someone screamed Herald. I'll post that later. So you
Ugh.
peruse it at your leisure.
Wow, that's a strange tale.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm not there, but yeah.
Well, I'll thank the minister for his the use of his resources.
oh, no problem.
And
No problem, my son.
well, it's getting late. I should be getting back to my team.
Of course, of course. Well, thank you for stopping in. We seldom get strangers here, and it's always a pleasure to see someone who shows such interest in the good works of the Lord.
Yes, well, all future prosperity on your ministry, good Reverend. And with that, I'll just leave. I'll head back to the my head full of this strange story. I'll head back to the ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else doing anything else?
I think we're probably done and headed back too.
Yeah, we drove that hole dry.
Yeah, but that didn't take too long. I mean, you just kind of like got into a small, I won't say argument, but disagreement. That doesn't take all day. Reading the journal does, because he has to plow through it and read through the whole thing to get to that.
We don't need to resupply anything at the general store, do we?
No, you don't. You don't need to.
Do you need anything, Doc, from the general
Whatever
store?
you need.
Oh,
Greenland is dry, by the way.
What?
yep. That's why we got the medical supplies all filled up. We need to get the medicine. All right.
That you've been distilling like crazy to everybody, but the people that need that.
Hey, you got bourbon eventually. You got it eventually after when you needed it, and not before. Anyway,
If you're sick of ship's rations,
yeah,
That's true. We could get some fresh things for the ship for the time being.
That's what I was wondering.
Let's say they have bacon.
So sure, we can go by there and see if there's anything.
That's all going to be expensive, I bet, because it's imported.
so who's all going to the general store? You guys kind of, I mean, the people who can. Now, I don't know how long it's taking you to compile your notes, so you can possibly go. Lily, you can go. Wes, you can go, and Nick, you can make it somewhere else as well. It just.
Could we have asked the ship, like
Yeah.
the cooker, like who is the cook? Louis.
Louis.
Yeah, ask Louis if he needs anything picked up while we were going out. We could have done that.
Says, yeah, well, I don't know if you find anything that you want, though. I can definitely see about cooking it.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to the store and see what's there.
All right. So the store is run by one Oleg Olson. He says, "Hi.
Hello.
You don't look like anybody I've ever seen before."
Because we've never been here before. Very upset.
Well, we don't really get many strangers around here. So I'm just going to say that you probably didn't change your money.
Probably.
That doesn't sound like a thing to do.
I don't know. We didn't know we were coming here.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we only take Danish money. The mark. We'll just call it the mark.
Kroner.
Kroner. Oh, Mr. I won't go into that. I don't want to blow your cover or anything.
Yeah.
Mr. Unemployed.
Oh shit, he's got a cover. Oh, things have been revealed to the players.
No, I'm
I
talking
knew
about
we couldn't trust him.
I'm talking about the Wes.
Yeah.
Who's unemployed for gaming purposes.
Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything about currencies.
Yeah,
All right.
the kroner.
Yeah, but Lucy.
I'll defer to Wes on that.
And
It's
Lucy
the
does
kroner.
have her own money, so I could have gotten money before we left.
Okay,
Coming
you
here
have
'cause I
to,
knew we
you have
would
to
come here.
exchange it for kroners.
That's what I'm saying. I probably would have exchanged some sort of currency, knowing we were coming here.
Okay. Yeah, so there's generally supplies that would be useful for someone who lives in Greenland. Canned food, metal knives, gardening tools, rifles, ammunition.
I check out the rifles and ammunition just because she's a gun nut.
There is snowshoes, though he says that most everybody knows how to make those themselves. But we have a few in case you need some. Can I interest you in anything?
What do you have in the way of fresh foods?
Not a lot, to be honest with you. A lot of the Inuit subside on blubber and seal meat. That's if you want fresh, that's how you're going to have to go. But if you want some canned peaches or a tin of green beans, I can definitely help you with that.
10 green beans, just not the same, but they'll have to do.
Okay. So he rings you up for your.
I'm gonna look at the rifles and stuff too. Probably pick up a box of shells for my rifle.
Okay. Give me a luck roll to see if he has the right caliber.
Yes, he does. That's a 31.
He does. Okay. Yes.
What caliber is your rifle, by the way?
I have a Lee Enfield.
No, so what caliber is that?
I don't know guns out of character.
None of us do.
The only gun I've ever fired in my life is a BB gun.
What kind of gun do you have? And you can make a luck roll to see if he has ammunition for it.
I have a 30 level action rifle.
All right. Well, you can make a luck roll to see if he has ammunition.
All right, come on, have some Mr. Winchester available. Yes, I make that luck roll.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Got my ammo.
Well, how are you paying for this?
Yeah. Tell you what, can I owe you for this?
What?
Talking to Lucy. I mean, Lucy. There you go.
Lucy looks at you. Now, why on earth would I buy you shells?
Hey, when the time comes to put some bullets in something, you want someone with extra bullets.
Let's see. I went to you for doctoring, and you made me more sick than I was before.
You got better. I doctored you up.
Right.
I
So
love medical science.
no.
So he rings you up, Lucy, and you realize that your purchases are costing about twice as much after quick mental math than they would if you were to buy these anywhere else you bought tinned green beans and ammunition.
Here's the thing: I wouldn't get fleeced by such a man as yourself as a visitor here.
Fleeced?
Yes.
Fleeced? I
Yes.
fleece no one.
You fleece me by
I
double.
don't set these prices. The
Mm-hmm.
state sets the price. They,
Mm-hmm.
well, you can either buy it
Can I roll psychology to see if he's fucking with me?
or you could leave it.
Can I roll psychology
not-
first to see if he's fucking with me?
Yeah.
No, I don't make that.
Yeah,
But
you can buy it or you can leave it. I don't set these prices. The state sets the price to offset the deficit that Greenland runs on.
so the locals pay this price.
Everyone pays this price.
Mm-hmm. Look,
You know
mister.
what? Don't even worry about it. He takes all the stuff that you want to buy, puts it back on the shelves, and says, I don't even want to sell it to you. If you're going to be that way, I don't want to sell it to you.
Your offense is my mistake. Whatever. I leave. Goodbye, sir.
Now, you were looking at some shotgun shells.
He's broke. She says that she's leaving.
This is in fact true.
Really, what's your credit rating?
0.
You have to put something in credit rating. Have you ever made a character before?
I didn't do that. I put points other places. I forgot the credit rating existed.
Wow.
I forgot about credit. I tried to make
you being a bad doctor.
He lost all his funds because of malpractices.
Hey, that was perfectly good practice. The patients who deserved to live lived.
Well then, yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, want some free doctoring? I could throw in some free doctoring.
No,
I was buying them just in case because I had a box.
And then he looks at Wigglesworth and says, "And you, sir, can I get you anything?" Maybe not.
Hey,
I will take. What's the fucking hoity-toity East Coast drink, Wes? I'll take a martini.
Tom Collins.
I'll take a
What
Tom.
are you? What the hell are you ordering?
All right, I'm gonna say.
Oh,
this.
it's a dry. I'm sorry.
This
It's
is
dry.
a damn
It's
general
dry.
store.
Yeah.
And Greenland is dry.
Yeah.
I don't want anything here.
Hey, Wigglesworth, can you cover me for some? Can you cover me for some bullets?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, bullets. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll give you.
Why do you even have that thing?
I'll prescribe. Hey, you know, when the time comes, you'll be thankful that I have it. But don't worry. I'll be sure to prescribe you an extra dose of the medically necessary liquids.
I really hope you don't shoot me. That's just what I'm hoping. Like that's what I hear.
I have never shot a patient in my entire career.
Okay.
No, he let them die of natural causes.
I'm not one of your patients either.
He's never given a shot to a patient in his entire career either.
No, he's giving plenty of shots to patients. They just weren't the ones that needed them.
Oh, a fantastic doctor. I should know. No, none of my living patients have complained that I know of.
Wait, Lucy was just complaining.
That doesn't count. That didn't happen.
So Wigglesworth takes pity on you and buys you some ammo, and it does cost about twice as much as what you would normally pay for it.
That's fine.
He does. What are you all doing here? We never see anybody that isn't from around here. It's very rare. Yeah, every once in a while we get some government types to come in, especially when it comes to collecting from me. But what are you doing here?
We're going camping in the interior.
He does a spit take. He actually takes a glass of water. Why would you do that? It's it's a glacier, right?
Yeah. Just scientific reasons.
Oh, you guys are scientists.
Yes.
That's really cool.
I guess I should have said that we were on a scientific expedition.
What sort of things do you study?
Well, I study ancient languages, specifically ones based around the Mediterranean, but I thought that my skills could be of service here.
Oh, man, that's kind of a different experience here than it would be down there. It's so warm there.
Yeah,
I often dream of going down there. So you study the languages and the people?
Mostly the pottery.
Oh.
I don't really deal with people.
Oh, okay. You know that Nels Peterson, he's the schoolmaster. He's the teacher. He does something similar. He's always bringing back pottery shards. There's an old Viking village site. That's what he does. He has it all roped off, and he digs in there to try and find out about the lost Viking settlements of Greenland that were here before we settled. He's always going off about Eric the Red and all sorts of nonsense.
What do you two think? Should we check it out?
I'm outside.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds like
Okay.
Sounds better than being on the boat.
Well, thank you for the nice tip, sir.
Oh yeah, no problem.
And you have a good day.
Hey, if you guys are around tomorrow, I'll tell you what is going to be really interesting, especially if that's what you guys are doing. Is there's going to be a song duel tomorrow. That's something you probably don't want to miss. A real Inuit song duel.
Mm.
What time will it be?
It'll be at plot time.
I'm just making sure that we're there at the right time. Okay. Yeah, that would be very interesting. I'd like to see it.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I will make sure that I'll get you. I'm going to go there. It's something you definitely don't want to miss. I'll make sure that we get you.
You'll find us.
Oh yeah, I'll find you. You be in the big ship, the big boat, right?
I guess so.
I guess we'll find.
Yep.
I'll know where you are.
Cool. So I go outside and I tell Lucy about the village settlement that we could check out, and also there will be a song duel tomorrow, or Inuit song duel.
What on earth is that?
I don't know, but I think that we should check it out. It sounds really fascinating. Or
I'm
fascinating.
not opposed to it.
Fascinating?
Yep.
What the hell?
Sure. Better on the boat.
Yeah, we get some fresh air at least.
Again, I was trapped on that ship for how long?
I think we were on there for weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on there for longer than most now because of the pneumonia.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I was pretty sick.
Yeah. That was a tough.
So Lucy's
tough
just
case.
happy to be out and about.
And what time is it right now? Could we maybe go check out that village settlement, or at least talk to the guy?
Yeah, you can make your way over to the school.
Because Brian's character.
As you don't know where the Viking settlement is.
Yeah.
Make your way over to the schoolhouse if you wanted to.
Okay.
As
Is
a matter
Brian
of
still
fact,
there?
you could see. You can see.
Well, I'm at the seminary.
Well, at this point it's getting late, and Dr. Blythe Oh, that's not you. Sorry.
Nick, I'm at the seminary, not the schoolhouse.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's
I
okay.
thought it was. I thought
Well,
it was both.
you know, but it's getting at this point. We can everyone can kind of meet up. It's late enough that Matt, you'd be done with your report, and Brian,
Cool.
you'd be on your way back. So we'll just say that you guys see those three heading over to the school building because it's not really a big town.
Right. All right. I'll join up with them. Hello there, Professor Wigglesworth, and Lucy, and Doctor
Blythe.
Blythe. How are you? How's it going?
They're healthy. I'm fine.
Well,
Doing
good.
well.
That is
Good,
a very
good.
odd declaration, but we are okay.
We just found out about a Viking settlement that's somewhere near here, but we need to go to the school to find out
Learn more.
exactly where it is.
Oh, that's very interesting. I was reading. I was up at the seminary visiting with the local reverend, and he shared a diary with me that's been passed down for a couple of hundred years.
Oh, was there
About
anything
a
interesting in it?
yes. Most of it, of course, was about whaling and such. But towards the end of the diary, there was an account of the crew was forced into a cove by a storm, and they saw an object in the snow and went out to investigate. And turns out the object turned out to be a Viking man. Actually, Steve, was it actually like a Viking, or was it somebody of Viking descent? I'm not sure.
It was a Viking.
An actual Viking. Okay. So it was a Viking. Anyway, they found this corpse of this Viking man, and then they found they explored the interior. They found a pass between two landscape features, and they found two young children sheltering in a cave that were being threatened by this strange beast. The away team killed the monster, the beast. They suffered an injury on their own party in that process, and they rescued the two little ones, who they surmised, based on looks wise, that these were children that belonged to the dead Viking man. They rescued the kids and brought them back on the ship, and we're going to turn them over to family when they got back to civilized parts. So very strange tale. They never did find the mother of the family, just the dead Viking man and the two children, but no mother. And Steve, I'm wondering, just out of character, or maybe in character, I want to make sure I get the story straight. The Viking guy, he would have been, if he's an actual Viking, that would have been a centuries-old corpse, and the children were alive.
That was no.
No, the book
Okay.
was. I mean, the diary was really old, wasn't it?
Yeah,
The diary was a couple of hundred years old.
Well, the diary was from the 16th century.
Okay, because the Vikings were like the 700s, so I wasn't sure.
Okay, so he was a descendant. That's my fault.
Okay, no, that's okay. I didn't know if there was like a weird time thing going on where this guy was
No.
really
I
old.
mean, he's like a Norseman.
A Norse, okay, someone of Nordic.
Yeah. So
heritage.
this was written before there was a fine distinction between Norsemen as a people and Viking as a job.
Okay. So this wasn't like a centuries-old corpse, and then there's like living children. Okay.
No.
So he was okay. So yeah. So anyway, there was a dead man of Scandinavian origin, Scandinavian descent, and the two kids. So
And what about the beast?
they left it. They didn't.
No, but I mean, like, was there any details about it?
just that it was a very strange
Lucy is
animal.
clearly intrigued by what you're telling her.
Yeah, the animal, the beast, apparently was very ferocious. Really, no detail really, other than it gave a terrible howl when it was killed. The roar of its death was heard clear back to the main ship, and it haunted the guy that was writing the diary. It haunted him forever after the sound of that creature passing on. So. It was evidently made an impact, but they couldn't go back for it. They wouldn't go back for it. They left it where it was. I think they were freaked out and they didn't want to bring it back to civilization. The away team didn't want to go back to get it, and the ship left. So that's all we got on that.
Well, did they tell like what the gender was?
Oh,
Try not to metagame too much, but I really want to ask this.
I guess it was a she beast, is what it said in the diary. It was a female specimen.
Huh.
But anyway, very strange business.
Well, let's walk towards the school then.
Sure.
And
Just when you
Lucy's
mentioned
kind of
about
chewing on her nails as we're walking, as she's thinking.
Just when you mentioned a Viking settlement, it brought to mind the fellow that they discovered in the ice or in the snow. He wasn't an actual Viking. He was later than that, but yeah. So maybe a descendant of the people that made the settlement. I don't know.
You know what would be wild? And maybe I just read way too many of those Penny Dreadful novels and things back in the day. What if that beast wasn't really a beast?
How do you mean?
Well, they say they found the man there, and they say they found children there. And then there's this female she-beast thing. What if it wasn't just a she-beast? They couldn't find the mother.
You mean like a werewolf or something?
Maybe.
Oh, that's certainly makes for a good story, miss.
That it does.
I
have to remember that.
Werewolf, huh? No.
Maybe not a werewolf, but stranger things have been written about.
They say that's how the Mongols got born. Wolf and a doe got together, and somehow Mongols rolled out. That's right here. What?
I imagine all of us just give him that look.
Are there crickets in Greenland?
You have an NPC handy? A random Inuit walks by and gives your character side eye.
It's that stare that everybody gives Kramer. That's the stare we're giving him.
All right, so you reach the school. It is a one-room wooden building, and knock on the door, and you're answered by a man called Nels Peterson, who looks like he's taller than most of the Inuit that you've seen, but he's darker than any Scandinavian has ever been without turning beet red in the sun. He introduces himself. My name is Nels Peterson. How can I help you?
Nice to meet you, Schoolmaster Peterson. My colleagues and I.
That's why I feel like this is a Korean drama. Schoolmaster Peterson.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Peterson. My name is Ethan Vining. These are my friends and colleagues, Dr. Blythe and Lucille Jackson, and this is the esteemed Charles Wigglesworth.
Oh.
And
Sorry, every fucking time. Dr. Wigglesworth. I imagine a pudgy cat in a suit and tie sitting. Hello.
It's a real name. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" Wigglesworth.
Oh, so you guys are with the Miskatonic expedition?
yes, that's right. We've just landed recently.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is great. That is, oh, I dabble in archaeology myself. I studied in Copenhagen.
Oh, that's great. Oh, is Dr. Osborne with us as well? I didn't want to leave him out. Is he in the group? Sorry.
Or did he abandon us and go back to
Matt.
his duties
Is
on the
Matt,
ship?
is Matt with us?
No, one of the NPCs was with us. Matt wasn't with
Okay,
us.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
I thought I was
didn't-
there.
Matt,
you
you're
are?
there?
Matt's there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I left you out of the introductions. I'm sorry. And this gentleman coming up here, it's Dr. Franklin Osborne. If you dabble in archaeology, you two probably get along famously.
Oh yeah. So I've actually been working on in my spare time because I'm busy with the kids of excavating a Viking village site. I've found 3 rune stones, I guess, that I've actually managed to translate from
Really?
the old Scandinavian runes, and I'i've translated them. They
Could
tell
I
a little
take a
bit
look
about
at
the
the
history.
translations in the runes, please? Do you have time for that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. Here, yeah. Please. It's nobody around here really cares about archaeology, and it's great to be able to talk to somebody. Finally, yeah. Come right this way. Please sit down, and he brings out a sheaf of papers, which are his translations. And once again, sit back and enjoy.
Cool.
For the lost saga of Eric the Red.
I'll give it a read.
3 of these rune stones. So the first rune stone. On his first voyage to Vinland, Eric spent 3 years sailing up and down the coasts, exploring the deep fjords. In the second year, while exploring up the east coast, they sighted a small band of Skraeling men along the shore. They seemed to be following the progress of the ships, but when Eric's men camped upon the shore, no trace of them was found. Later that year, the Skraeling were again seen along the shores. The Vikings put into shore and camped, but the Skraeling did not appear. The next morning, the body of Magnus, one of Eric's chiefs, was found a few hundred feet from camp. The back of his skull brutally caved in. The Vikings attempted to track the Skraeling into the mountains, but lost the trail after a short time and gave up the chase. When Eric the Red set out again for Vinland, this time with his colonists, he left Iceland with 25 ships. The first day out to sea, the sky turned black, and the small galleys were battered by a great storm and scattered about by raging winds, losing sight of each other as the great storm continued to drive them further apart. The ships regrouped the next day, but it was found to the dismay of the colonists that only 14 of the ships remained, and the other 11 presumed to have gone to the bottom of the sea. One of the men of Eric's ship, who had sat in the pitching stern of the ship all night, peering into the darkness in hope of catching a glimpse of some of his comrades' ships, claimed to have seen something else. He spoke of great black ropes that rose up from the foaming waves, and grasping a ship, pulled it beneath the water as though it were a straw. The man raved and drooled as he told his story to Eric and the crew. As the day wore on, the man's ravings became insistent. Finally, his madness weaving a spell of fear over the crew of the ship, he was picked bodily up off of his feet and pitched over the side by Eric. The second stone. Colonies were established, but within the year, attacks by the Skraeling occurred. When 2 women were murdered while gathering water at a nearby spring, the Vikings once again set into the mountains in pursuit of the mysterious people. This time, they cornered the Skraeling in their crude mountain village and slew nearly the entire population, saving only a young girl who was taken prisoner by one of the Vikings. This young girl was first the slave and then the wife of the Viking who had captured her. After learning to speak some of his language, she told him many stories about her people. She claimed her tribe to be one of the last of a once great race that lived in a warm land to the north called Mutuland. She also told the man that her people had worshipped a god called Kulu, but as the world kept growing colder, their god had answered them less and less. After a while, they really prayed or offered sacrifices to him. The last big ceremony had been held over a year previously, just before the Vikings had arrived. She said that her tribe had a legend that a long time ago, some of her people had built ships, like the Vikings, and sailed south to where it was thought to be warmer and they could worship their god Kulu, the third runestone. These people found their place and dwelt on the shore of the sea near a great city of gold called Yanathalei, built by other followers of Kulu, and those of the sea who had dwelt there forever. Although they once visited Mutaland often, these people have not returned for a long time. Told of a city of gold, Eric laid plans to set sail for the south to discover this land of the Skraeling and to make this gold his own. First sailing east, this land was soon discovered, and Eric's ship sailed for many miles down the coast in search of the fabulous city. Finally, after many days at sea, the ships carefully negotiated a dangerous reef, where put ashore, camps were made, and the gathering of provisions began. Within the hour, Skraeling in great numbers suddenly poured out from the nearby forest and set upon the Vikings. Eric's men fought with great courage, but the overwhelming, almost desperate ferocity of the Skraeling threatened to overcome them. It was at this time that a large band of black-haired men, numbering more than the Skraeling and Vikings combined, emerged from the same forest and with frightening shrieks charged into the battle. It became quickly obvious to the Vikings that the newcomers were intent on killing only Skraelings. As in their rampage, they seemed to ignore completely the Viking warriors. The Skraeling were soon destroyed, and Eric tried to speak with the one who appeared to be the leader of the Blackhairs. He asked of Yanathalei. The leader of the Blackhairs would only answer with a single word and point out toward the sea in the direction of the reef. Soon after, an argument broke out between some of the Vikings and the Blackhairs over the treasure found on the Skraelings. Eric had to order his men quickly to push the ships out to sea. Eric decided that the city of gold must be a lie and returned home to Vinland. This, his latest voyage, lasting over a year.
Skraeling.
Yeah, what do you think?
That's quite a story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it, though?
Makes it sound like the Vikings were in North America a long time before they were recorded being there.
That's what I thought. It definitely sounds like they went to America.
Yeah.
Tell me, Nels, did you hear the story? I was at the seminary earlier talking to the minister there, and he let me read a journal of a group of people that had found a Scandinavian and two rescued children. Have you heard this story? And I didn't know if you had any thoughts on it.
No, I haven't heard that story.
Yeah, it's in one of the journals in the library, the little collection of books they have at the seminary. It's a diary of an old minister.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, just came from there.
Oh, it was interesting then.
Oh yeah, it was just very different. I was just thinking about that story of that black tentacled sea monster and that first rune that you translated, and they were talking about a monster, but I don't think it had black tentacles. There was talk of a monster, children being rescued from a monster. So I'm not sure if it's the same monster or a different monster, but anyway, lots of monster stories around here.
Well, it is a frozen wasteland.
Yeah.
People could hallucinate out in the middle of the snow, I guess.
Right. Well, and also how reliable are the writings of a superstitious people? I mean, come on, Skraeling.
It's true.
I mean, I don't know how many of you speak Dutch, but Skraeling is basically elf.
Oh. Wow.
Eesh.
So yeah.
We're just chasing fairy tales then.
Man, I've been some bad mead.
Hey, if it's okay with him, can I do rubbings of the runestones and copy his translations over? Take me.
Yep, you most certainly can.
Okay, well, I guess that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this day.
Okay, so that'll take you to the next day. Okay, so yeah, we could squeeze this in. So the next day, fairly bright and early, both Nels and Oleg show up to take you to the song duel on this 21st day of your expedition. Yeah, they it's about a half a mile trek to where the event is being held, and on the way, well, anybody who has anthropology can make a roll, like actual anthropology with points in it, not base.
Not I.
I rolled double aught.
All right, so as they're taking you out there, they explain that so this is an Inuit method of resolving conflicts between tribe members. They do this in Greenland. They also do this in Canada. So any offense except for murder results in a song duel to determine who the agreed party is, which is the reason why they don't really have a police force in Greenland. So today, the duel is really over just a minor matter. One of the men accuses the other of slander. But no matter what the offense is, they have the duel. So when you get there, you have there's a circle of Inuit around two men who are squaring off against each other. I got a picture of it right here. See?
It's a rap battle.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Nah,
knew
man, this is
someone
about to
was
break
gonna
out
say
the
that.
dance moves.
So it is more or less along the same lines as a rap battle. But what I did was, because I know nothing of song duels, I actually Googled song duels. And we're going to give you a little taste of what a song duel would go down without actually singing, because I ain't doing that. So the first one sings, "Little Issia, stop trying to get yourself a woman. You can't do anything right. Stop trying to get a woman. It's absurd that you want to have a bastard, an Easterner who will have a bastard. He forgets that he uses coffee can for collecting berries. He forgets that he has the skin of seal all covered in fur. He forgets that he has a huge nose. He forgets all that."
Damn.
Whoa.
That was pretty
So
fucked up.
first.
That was fucked.
Oh, so basically they're fucking freestyling. Ah,
Yes. More or less.
hip hop goes back so far. Inuits,
He forgets he has a big nose. He
they
forgets he
throwing
has a
down
big
dozens,
nose.
son. They throwing down dozens.
So as this goes on, you have the people around the circle start to choose sides, and they start to gravitate to whoever they think has the stronger song. So another example, the first one would sing, "I want to sing the song in your name, Maraste. Who am I singing against, Maraste? Against you. In the summer season, when your wife left you, and when your mistress left you too, I heard people saying,
Damn.
what does he have in his head? Will he get himself another wife? Will he take a third woman? He lets them starve to death even on warm summer days. Have you ever heard of a man who has 3 women, but who lets them die even in the warm days of summer?" The responses to which is, Let me compose a poem. Let me remember that my song dual adversary has had several wives. I remember that my adversary was like an orphan without a father, and his many wives were for him like mothers and grandmothers. So that's what's going on.
I
During the song.
appreciate this so much. This is the best. Inuit dozens and shit. Yes.
So they go back and
Still
forth.
Blubber is so fat.
Right. When your mom sits around the hut, she really sits around the hut. Anyway, as this is going on, your hosts are translating everything to you because none of you speak Inuit. And there are, there's a lot of jokes about, insulting penis size and fat mothers or, skinny mothers or whatever. They're, whatever would be the harsh thing to say. Probably skinny mothers. But a couple of times, they use a derogatory reference about their opponent's orange hair. So amidst all this going on, you have somebody saying that you suck because you have orange hair.
They don't like gingers here.
Apparently.
You're fucking Weasley.
Poor Weasleys.
Yes.
Poor Weasleys.
So also while this is going on, everyone can give me a spot hidden roll.
Nope. 85.
Hail to the yeah. What did I make this at? That is a hard success for me.
Failed.
Nope.
Well, Lucy, as you're actually scanning the crowd, just watching this event unfold, you notice that there are, in a crowd of 200 assembled Inuit, there's one Inuit standing slightly apart from the crowd, leaning on a whalebone staff.
Just standing there, not participating, not doing anything out of the ordinary, or what?
Exactly. Just standing there, the wind blowing his hair.
I kind of watch him. I mean, he's not really doing anything out of the ordinary. It's just I noticed it.
But where everybody is like starting to drift over to one of the guys who's got better flow than the other, he's just sitting there, leaning on his staff like Yoda.
Yeah, I watch him for a little while.
Okay, so after penis size insults, not being able to care for your wife, having orange hair, eventually one of the combatants is determined to be the winner, and after that the crowd starts to dissipate.
Well, that was interesting.
There was one that wasn't really involved in the festivities, if you will.
Oh, him? Oh, he's the shaman.
Shaman.
Mm-hmm. He's kind of the spiritual leader of the tribe. But that was a really good battle.
But from what I understood of it, it was quite entertaining.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good one.
Why is orange hair an insult?
The closest I can figure, this is Nels talking, is it's probably originally just like a derogatory reference to the Vikings. It's kind of way of calling them stupid or like weak, more or less. But yeah, it's there's a poetry to this, so it gets lost in translation, but you shouldn't take it too literally.
I'm going to ask the shaman. I'll approach the shaman and introduce myself. and ask him if it would be okay to take his photograph. I don't want to do anything that's going to disrespect him or disturb him, but I find him, now that Lucy has pointed him out to us, I would like to take his picture, if he allows it, if he's okay with it.
He doesn't speak any English.
Okay. I will hold up my camera, not hold it up aggressively, like as if I'm going to take his picture, but like, see, motion as if I want to take his picture and see if he kind of can follow along and just kind of try to read his body language to see if it's an offensive thing or if he'll let me do it.
He doesn't really indicate either way whether he lets you take his picture or not. He just starts to go back to his hut.
Nels, could you ask that elderly man if I can take his picture in his language? Do you know how to speak their language? You just translated. Can you help us? Can you help me?
Sure. He kind of looks and goes, he says he'd help you out, but first he requires something from you.
Oh, okay. I start sort of patting myself down. What can I offer him?
He wants spirits.
Spirits.
What do you mean, spirits?
Like alcoholic spirits, or
Yes.
doctor? I think.
Go look at the doctor.
What? Oh, you get some medical knowledge? Okay. All right.
Well, no, we need your booze.
We need you to write that man over there.
Neil says,
of
whoa, you can't do this.
What?
You can't give that man alcohol.
What?
You're breaking the law.
That's right.
All right. I'll write our photographer a prescription for alcohol. And then you just immediately forget your alcohol.
I thought it's for the shaman.
It's for the shaman.
Hey,
that's his point.
You don't need to tell me what happens with it. You just accidentally drop your bottle. That's what happens.
Well, yeah. They don't. You're the only one that has the supply.
Perhaps you shouldn't be having this conversation in front of outside parties.
Yeah, well, it's medicinal. So you know what? Forget it. I mean no offense. I don't want to cause an international incident. I don't need. I just want to take his picture, but yeah, forget it. Sorry, I'll hold up my hands. No mas, no trouble. Never mind, doctor. I didn't mean to get you involved in something.
It's fine. I'll write a script. I'll write you a script.
It's okay. I'm good. We can take care of. I don't need one. I didn't. I was just hoping to take this man's picture, but he wanted something in return that we can't offer. So sorry, Nils. I didn't mean to overstep.
No, it's okay. You're not around here, but yeah, alcohol is frowned upon.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, sorry about that. Forgot all about that. Lucy, you're right. We'll tamp this right down. So I can offer him other things. I mean, I don't know. I'll hold out. I got a lighter. I got cigarettes. I got a small pen light. I've got mechanical pencil, little doodads. I don't know if any of these would be worthy of his picture. If not, it's okay.
He says, he just shakes his head. But Wes, you can give me a medicine roll.
Sure, I'll give him a medicine roll.
And while he's giving you that, I pull our photographer to the side and I whisper in his ear, I didn't mean not to give it to him. I meant for you to not act like you were gonna give it to him.
I'm gonna push that roll.
All right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Don't say that you're gonna give it to him in front of people that would have frowned upon said actions.
I make that pushed roll.
God, do none of you men know how to be discreet?
It's not.
I'm a doctor. I don't need to be discreet.
Oh my God.
I just imagine them going about this grand. plan.
You know nothing about being a doctor, do you?
I'm gonna go with
Like-
no.
Because I mean, just patient confidentiality. Just you have to be discreet. It's
Awful.
a part of the whole thing.
Yeah, we got
It's kind
confidentiality.
of part of being a doctor is being discreet.
Yeah, just throw medicine at them, tell them not to do things, then
You-
come back and do more
Wow.
things.
You have to play him like a quack. He's playing a quack.
No, he is playing a quack, indeed. He is.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is. I think he's like playing Wes's version of Doctor.
Yes.
It's a quack.
Well, that's just because Wes is a quack. So Wes, you're able to determine that like this guy, he's not very old.
Yep.
He's like in his like late 20s, early 30s, but he walks with a limp, leaning heavily on the crutch, and it looks like half of his face is just slack. And it actually looks like he might have suffered a stroke at one point in his life. And you also determine that he might be prone to epileptic fits as well.
All right. Okay. What's our god's name again? His name. There we go. Buell. Is that Buell or is our god this time?
What? Your guide?
Yeah, the guy was doing the translating for. Is that still Buell or someone else?
Nels?
Nels. Okay, I'm sorry. Nels. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
I thought
yes.
Bill was doing the translations.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, that Buell's not with you.
No.
Yeah.
Nels and Oleg are with you.
Yeah.
The general store and the school.
No, that's my confusion. My bad. I thought Bill was with us because I remember he was the one that was translating for us before.
Yeah. Nels, can you ask the shaman if I can give him a medical examination? I think he might. It's more of a doctor, and that I want to make. I want to give him. Want to make sure that he's in. Going to check on his health.
Nels speaks to the man and comes back and shakes his head and goes, "He has no need for your medicine."
Yeah, well. All right, we're still walking around. We're still walking around a couple weeks. You can come back. You can give me a call. I'll be up the river.
A call?
River?
You heard? I forgot. Body of water that we're moving up. Body of water that we're moving up.
I love the smell of Wes's brain frying in the morning. It smells like victory. There's no river.
Oh my God.
You're going to be walking.
Yes. We'll be up that way. Navigation's not my strong suit.
I'm still trying to figure out how he's going to give a call.
There's a telegram thing.
We're just gonna keep stringing out
Yeah,
telegram
because
cables behind us.
there's a
Get a
we're
big
just gonna
spool.
think- yeah.
Just gonna push it along with us.
It's not like we're out on a glacier or anything.
There's no Wi-Fi in this ancient city.
Oh well. Yep. Doc's already measuring him up for a coffin at this point since he refuses medical attention. He did all he can do.
Which amounts to the same thing you always do, nothing.
Hey, I asked if he wanted medical aid.
I'm pretty sure he's better for refusing.
Hey, I'm a competent doctor.
So I'm going to ask.
Yes.
Before this gets any further, what are you guys going to do about this shaman? Are you going to get booze for him, or are you going to let him go?
No.
Are you going to continue arguing in the middle, in the empty Eskimo square?
Maybe you guys should have a song duel.
Yeah.
Let's give this newfangled song dueling a no.
Yeah,
$50 on Lucy.
whoa, medical doctor.
Well, I'm just banking on the fact that I'm sure Lily is better at freestyle than you are.
Probably
not, actually. However, probably in the insults, yes.
Okay. Should we?
Is if the doctor gives the maybe if we, I don't know, maybe do we want to invite the shaman for a tour of the ship, and then he can discreetly imbibe with the doctor, and then we're not sort of we don't risk getting caught transporting if we want to grant him his request. We're not sort of risking we get him.
He's not going to come with you.
He's not going to go on the boat. Yeah. All right. Okay. I got nothing for this guy.
Yeah, we weren't sneaky enough.
I don't have
to be
good sleight of
sneakier.
hand, or I try to do it.
What's
Because
that?
I do
Or
still
just-
have this cough, doctor.
yes. I'll prescribe you medicine.
I hope that's the problem. I think just we did it right out in the open.
Yes, that
In
was the
front of the
problem, is
dude.
that we did it right in the open. I think we've pretty much blown this opportunity.
Yeah, I think
Well.
I think we're done.
That's why I was like, you guys do realize that you're telling them what we're
hey, if
going
you're-
to do to
I
their
say-
faces, right?
If you're gonna do it loud and proud. You know, just right.
That is not how subtlety works.
Nope.
All right.
All right, so you guys get back to the boat, where you find that Ethelrod and Matheson have called a ship's meeting. Matheson lets Ethelrod have the floor and basically says, well, at this point, we'll be heading into the interior in a few days once we get all the information we need and stock up on things like snowshoes. Henry will be taking charge of that. He definitely is more equipped for it than I am. I'll be staying behind because of my age, but Henry is more than qualified. He served Britain well in the Great War. He's used to these conditions. So they're going to be taking the three mountaineers. Buell and Granger will also accompany him, and we will take a few of the ship's men for protection. Anybody else who wants to volunteer to go on this, please let me know.
I'm definitely in. I'm definitely, and I want to make sure I get photographs of this whole expedition.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll come along. I could use a good stretch the legs.
All right. So Ethelrod at this point says, well, as you heard, Professor Matheson, for reasons of health, will remain here in Gothab. Any other members of the team who think they might wish to accompany the expedition to the interior should be well advised of the strenuous physical requirements of such an undertaking. The Central Plateau is cold and windswept, and Philippe assures me that there may be some climbing of glaciers or rock outcroppings involved in reaching our goal. I know that we've had our differences in the past, but when it comes to climbing, Philippe takes his role seriously, so we could not have any dead fish on the glacier. We can't discount the possibility of violence directed towards us, so our own experience shows us that there may still be pockets of primitive Inuit hostile to intruders. Anyone still in mind to join us must meet at the foot of the glacier north of town at daybreak for requisite days training in climbing procedures with our friends from France. Thank you, and that will be all.
I want to try and catch Atherod before he gets too far away.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I think you might want to leave Granger off of this trip.
Why is that?
And working with him and doing the translations, he's having some issues. I'm not sure what the extent of them are, but I don't know how comfortable or safe it is for him to be out on the ice with the rest of us. He might become a liability.
Oh, he's always seemed to be to come pull through in the past, according to Matheson. This was one of his most trusted students. Distresses me to hear. We'll have
Granger was the one that flaked out, right? The one I had to shoo out of. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, something has alarmed him in what we were translating, and I think it's caused him to become destabilized.
It's the drinking, huh?
I don't know what it is, but regardless, I don't think it's safe to have him out on the ice with us.
Well, duly noted. I'll talk to Professor Matheson about that and make a decision in the morning. In the meanwhile, everyone get a good night's rest. Remember, tomorrow daybreak, we learn to climb. All right. So the next day, the mountaineers have basically set up a climbing.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Does anybody have climbing skills above 75?
No.
Jesus Christ, no.
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 Okay. So you were all taken through the course. When they show you basic skills, safety, and they have there are 3 separate courses of varying difficulty. So you go for the one for the novices, one for the intermediates, and one for the more advanced people. You have a Frenchman on each. So the bottom line is everyone could make 2 experience checks for climb, like you would if you had a tick. You can do that right now. Obviously, if you fail your rolls, you get 1d10 added in climb. You can do that twice for the all-day session.
There we go. That's a failure.
That's good. That's real good, Anthony.
Okay. So,
Nope.
yes. So hopefully you all gained a little bit of climb, because next time we are going to the interior. We're going to leave it off here, and we should be able to finish this up next week. So thank you guys for playing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for running it.
Thank you.
And thanks for listening to all of you who are listening, and we'll catch you on the flippity flop. And keep 30 luck rolls on the flippity flop.